The pain that will be felt almost defies description. It is beyond comprehension. People are still going to come to terms with it.
As many as 25,000 residents and visitors were forced to evacuate 5 days ago before a wall of flames raced towards town. The fire has now merged with another wildfire and quadrupled in size. Nearly 70% of the town is still standing, however, and crews are focused on keeping it that way, extinguishing hotspots in and around the community. Jasper's mayor says residents will soon receive notification as to whether their homes and businesses still stand. John Valiant is the author of the Pulitzer-nominated Fire Weather, which explores the devastating wildfire that struck Fort McMurray, Alberta in 2016. And John Valiant joins me now. Hello and welcome to Power and Politics.
Brett, hello. Good to be with you.
So after taking such a granular and compelling look at what happened in Fort Mac in 2016, what goes through your mind as you sit and watch the situation in Jasper unfold?
Well, it's really painful, Brett. It's painful at the level of just being a Canadian, seeing a beloved place be so severely damaged, but it's also really painful kind of watching the book play out again, watching the Fort McMurray scenario play out again. And we are, in this cycle that's going to keep repeating itself. It could be Banff next year. It could be Banff next month. Honestly, it could be the west side of Vancouver or parts of Calgary. We are really exposed right now, and we are being told over and over again that we are not ready for 21st century catastrophic fire.
Well, as you say there, John, the fire in Jasper hit hard and it hit fast, just as it did in Fort McMurray in 2016. What do you make of that volatility and intensity with which this fire struck?
Well, this is the nature of the beast, as Darby Allin called it back in 2016. 21st century fire has certain hallmarks, and that is driven by climate change. We have higher temperatures, we have lower relative humidities, we have more evaporation, we have much drier forests, and that creates a space and an opportunity for fire to not just burn, but to act explosively with astonishing speed. And over again, when I interview folks who've gone through this, all of them are shocked by the speed of the fire and how quickly the embers flew, how far they flew, and how quickly they ignited.
And perhaps you could draw that point out a little bit more. I mean, what does the speed and ferocity of this fire tell you about how the fire season is changing in Canada and what it is that's causing these fires to hit harder? I mean, we've heard climate scientists for years warning that events of this sort are going to increase not just in frequency, but in speed, ferocity.
Well, our civilization's current dependence on fossil fuels is supercharging the atmosphere. So we have steadily hotter temperatures, which create much more volatile conditions. And we're seeing that in everywhere from California to Alaska. These fires that previously could have been fought by traditional means with air tankers and fire breaks and hoses are now turning into rescue operations and life-saving operations because the embers can fly across any fire break. They can fly across any retardant line. They jump the Athabasca River. They've jumped many even larger rivers. The Columbia River down in Oregon was also jumped. And so we're in a different world now. And we're fighting fire with basically 1990s methods. And it's beyond us in that way. And it makes it much more dangerous for human beings. Canada's been extraordinarily lucky compared to Paradise, California, or Lahaina, or Valparaiso, Chile, where there have been terrible fatalities. And Canada has dodged that so far.
Well, based on what you've said there, I mean, I hate to even ask this next question, but how likely is it that we'll see more of this in the future, that we'll see almost entire towns razed by fire?
Brett, these catastrophes take a terrible physical toll, but they also take a terrible emotional and psychic toll on the nation. We had 250,000 Canadians on the road last year, basically refugees from fire in their own countries. And it's really clear when you look at the amount of CO2 steadily growing in the atmosphere, when you look at temperatures steadily rising. We had the 2 hottest days in recorded global history just this week ever. So we're going to have more of these, Brett. I'm really sorry to say that. And we're not ready for it. And we're not acting as if it's as serious a threat as it really is. We have to take meaningful action on climate, and we have to alter our firefighting regime and probably the way we build our communities.
Mm-hmm. Well, what does that look like? How do you see the government responding better to this situation? Number one, in responding, but also in preparing it and mitigating these sorts of events.
Well, one thing that is really painful to observe is to see the province arguing with Ottawa about who should have been there and who should have done what. Fort McMurray should have taught everybody in the country, especially people in charge, how to run a seamless and cooperative operation. We are all one country, and we need to take a unified approach to this nationwide problem. Labrador and Newfoundland are having terrible fires too. This is a coast to coast issue. So some are talking about a national fire service, and I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I like the sound of it because it implies a unified, coordinated approach rather than, oh, that's provincial jurisdiction. That's not our problem. That's nonsense. It's all of our problem, and we all have to work together in a unified way with this new reality. Mm-hmm. And that's I think one of the hardest pieces is to get our infrastructure and our mindset up to speed on this new scenario where fires act with tremendous speed and are really devastating. And we're paying the cost of that right now. And it's a terrible cost that is way beyond dollars and infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Folks have lost everything, and it's very hard to trust again in the system, in your country, when you've been, so to speak, burned like that.
Well, you mentioned infrastructure, and I wanted to jump in there. I mean, they say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I think I read once that every dollar you spend on mitigation measures will save you money, save you $5 to $6 in the end when it comes to remediation. So how should we be changing our infrastructure? Obviously, cities and towns weren't built to contend with this environment. So what has to change?
So, Brett, there is a really wonderful system that is nationwide in Canada. It's a program called Fire Smart. As far as I know, every local fire department, volunteer and municipal, is signed on to this, and they will come to your community, come to your cul-de-sac, come to your backyard, and help you look at your property in terms of flammability. And Canadians aren't used to doing that. And that's something we need to do collectively. And a lot of these changes, cleaning your gutters, moving your wood piles, changing where you're laying your mulch and growing your hedges, these are free solutions. They just require action and a different mindset. But Canadian firefighting services are excellent. They're dedicated, and they really want to help, and they have a lot of good advice. And they're extremely motivated to help make our communities safer. The other piece I would say is a lot of new developments and a lot of Western developments have only one road in. And we saw that in Fort McMurray. We desperately need a minimum of 2 entrance and exit roads from every community.
All right, plenty of good suggestions there, but we do have to leave it there. I want to thank you for sharing your views with us. John Valiant is the author of Fireweather.
Brett, thanks so much for taking on this crucial issue.
Thank you.